2025 season's here. We get a chance to go on the field as a team and set the standard for ourselves right now, day one.
Jamar got it! Caught by Gesicki. Run into the 30. He'll be sacked by rookie Chris Jenkins. Touchdown! It's over. Bengals!
This town wants a winner. We're at home. Let's be that for them.
We got another opportunity. Be great and play for each other today. Start fast. Let's go. Hey, these are games that you live for, dog. Let's do each other.
This is the Bengals season preview show. Hooday!
It is go time. Welcome to the Bengals season preview on Fox 19 now. This is fun. I'm Joe Danneman. She is Marissa Contepelli, team reporter and senior producer for the Cincinnati Bengals. Jeremy Rao, Gabby Sorrentino, and Reagan Holgate will also join this show. It's the Bengals. It's Fox 19 now. It's NFL season. And this is the season preview show on the Bengals flagship station.
That's right, Joe. Exciting times. But before we dive too much into the season preview, we need to see how we got to this point. So let's take it back. And I'm talking way back when there was snow falling in Cincinnati and the team began its work for the 2025 offseason. So let's kick off our show today with an excerpt of From the Jungle, Bengals All-Access.
5 consecutive wins now for you guys, and yet you still don't know if it's enough.
Yeah, not great, but, we'll enjoy this win and go back, watch some football tomorrow, and hope for the best.
Going into the season, many of us said the Bengals will be a Super Bowl contender. Joe did put up record numbers, but it did not lead to postseason play.
As you guys know, there's weather issues. That's why we're on Zoom right now. Just start by saying I'm proud of the way that our guys finished the season. Very proud of how they stuck together and did that. But that being said, we had higher expectations and standards for what we achieved this year, and that'll certainly drive us moving forward to meet those expectations and those standards that we have for ourselves. And as many of you probably saw, we made a couple coaching changes today.
Talk about the Bengals real quick. They did name a new offensive line coach on Monday. Scott Peters is coming over from the Patriots. He's also bringing over Michael McCarthy as an assistant offensive line coach.
It seems like the rest of the Bengals defensive staff is starting to fill out. Jerry Montgomery will be the next defensive line coach, run game coordinator, and their next linebackers coach will be Mike Hodges.
Switching gears, the Bengals' new defensive coordinator officially leaving Notre Dame for Cincinnati.
Al Golden trading in the Golden Dome for the NFL. This is a reunion with head coach Zach Taylor.
It's NFL Combine Week in Indianapolis, giving the opportunity to talk to some NFL analysts and draft gurus, as well as some of the players that the Bengals might be targeting in this year's draft.
We have super high expectations for our football team. We're a championship level team that didn't get an opportunity, and we're not happy about it. And we're going to attack the offseason to make sure it doesn't happen again.
There's room to grow in all areas. If you don't approach this time of year with a growth mindset and look at things that maybe you didn't do well enough, I think you're doing yourself, the team, the organization a disservice.
We've got a coaching staff that I know is going to put in the work. I got no doubt about that, to help supplement the scouts so that we bring in people that we all believe in. So we're all in alignment and we have a clear vision for each and every single one of them.
The game plans change from week to week, but the core fundamentals shouldn't. And if we're all, have bought in, if we all had an opportunity to develop that culture and identify those core values that we think are really important, then it allows for continuous improvement, allows for development, and really to get to the point where it's second nature for them.
It's all just a piece of the overall picture of these players. We want guys that express a team atmosphere and enjoy being a part of a team, succeed together. It's not an individual game that we play, it's a group team game. And the only way you have success is to put a team together, because when one of these players walks into our building, we want everybody pulling in the same direction. And we want everybody with the vision for the player that we have. It's a total Bengals vision.
Day one of the NFL's free agency period has come to a close. It's also a time for teams to perhaps re-sign some of their own players. And the Bengals did that. They re-signed officially Mike Gesicki.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Congrats. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It starts with the people in this building. It starts with, Mr. Brown and, the organization, and then, down to down to Zach, and then just all the guys in the building, all my teammates. Look at that. Look at that. Everybody's happy. Everybody's happy. You know, the city loves him, the fans love him, everybody in the locker room loves him. I think even more importantly, that is the guy that he is in the locker room, the leader he is, so good for him.
First, you got great teammates, great coaches, great fans, great city. My family loves it here. I'm excited for the role. Going on year 8, having the chance to lead these guys, especially my room, D-line room, a bunch of young guys. Just looking for a leader, and I'm that guy.
That's it.
Perfect. Thank you, man. You know, a little something. Trying to look like you a little bit.
That's what you do with all your money, huh?
Straight suits, right? Oh, thank you.
Outside, though, they did agree to terms with a couple of players. Rotational nose tackle. He did start all 34 games the last 2 years for the Green Bay Packers, TJ Slaton.
Solid nose tackle in his prime, coming off of his rookie deal. But it's a guy who's going to help. It's a guy who's going to be physical and take on double teams and help stop the run and help get you into 3rd and long situations and 2nd and long.
It feels like you're on the cusp every year of doing something special to get that expectation.
Yeah, even from the outside looking in, you always felt like, the Bengals was going to do something. So my rookie year, I watched them, make it to the Super Bowl. So that is what the goal is today, to get back there and win it.
I thought the Bengals had a solid day. All of the moves make sense. To add TJ Slaton, need Oren Burks with experience in a Super Bowl ring, BJ Hill, as solid as they come, Joseph Osai, young ascending player, and Samaje Perine are all solid signings that are going to contribute this season.
Just in general, what was your message to the team?
Just excited to recreate the camaraderie back in the building, get to know some of the new guys, get to see some familiar faces. So I'm really encouraged by everybody we've got in the building.
Welcome back, y'all. Good to see y'all again. Been a minute, we missed y'all.
Back in the building. Time to go.
Let's say the boys are back in time to get it, man. Living the dream. How about that?
Yeah, I'm trying to make a way. I've been trying to go into the scales. I don't even got no time to play. Working all day.
What was this offseason kind of like? Did you process how last year went?
Honestly, the season was over, so it was just really, get back to work.
I think everyone just kind of understands what's at stake, man.
We want to be the team that everybody wants us to be, and we want to prove it to the world as well.
No fear of failure. And I think that's how I have to play. Change the narrative. Simple as that.
We need some coffee. No coffee.
All right, we're back. First guy, we'll see where you guys like him after you're done reporting on him.
He doesn't do much away from football. He's all ball. He does a good job managing his body, hyperbaric chamber, massages, cryo, hot and cold tub, all that kind of stuff. But they absolutely love him. I mean, he loves ball. He has fun playing, really coachable and wants to be coached. They said he's their hardest worker and their best player on the team. Gets in at 5:30 a.m. every day. You could just tell he just has fun playing.
Pretty easy to like. Who do you take, Potsy? You said you'd take this one.
Yeah, I would take him.
We are now on pick 17 in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Well, Joe, that's only part one. We will have part 2 of From the Jungle with the Bengals off-season program coming up ahead of week 1 on our first season episode of Bengals Weekly.
Bit of a cliffhanger there at the end. I can't wait to see part 2. And you mentioned also in that piece, Mike Gesicki talking about everybody being happy. Now Trey Hendrickson's got his new contract, making a lot more money this year to be one of the best defensive ends in football. Everything that's been done throughout the offseason, into free agency, into the NFL draft, and training camp has been get off to a fast start. We've heard that all offseason long from Zach Taylor. You've seen this team up close throughout training camp. Do you think they positioned themselves this year to have a better start in September?
I think they have. And it all starts top down, just in talking with some of the veterans and just that mentality, the way We heard from some of the defensive guys back in the spring saying, you know, this isn't day 1 at day 2. This is actually day 20 when they started camp. Just that change in mentality. I think Al Golden has done a fantastic job coming in and bringing that approach. And so I'm eager to see just what the fast start looks like for the defense, maybe a little bit more than the offense.
And it starts this week in Cleveland with Game 1 right here on Fox 19 now against the Browns. Okay, time for a quick break. There is a helmet on Jamar Chase in this shot. He should go ahead and swap that for a crown this season. What's the next level for Mr. Triple Crown? And Jamar and T. Higgins are the only Bengals who caught more touchdowns last season than that guy, Andrei Iosivas. We are one-on-one with the Bengals wide receiver as we continue the Bengals season preview on Fox 19 now.
Sidelines. They won't catch him. For you, in the next step in your career, Jamar, is it just about challenging yourself, and what are you trying to get out of yourself this next year?
Challenging myself, pushing guys around me, learning more of the offense, learning more of defenses, seeing the small things that defense, like pre-snap tells, hopefully. Just be a better person.
Be a better person. I don't know if a wide receiver could be better than Jamar Chase from last season. Most catches, most receiving yards, most touchdowns in one season. Marissa, one of only 6 players in the Super Bowl era to win the wide receiver triple crown. None of the previous 5 won it back-to-back years. The crown is currently on Jamar Chase's head. What can he do for an encore in 2025?
I mean, be better. I could absolutely see him somehow being better in 2025 and getting the Triple Crown in back-to-back years. It honestly would not surprise me if he were to accomplish that. And I feel like a big reason to his success, not only Joe Burrow, but you look at the guys around him in that receivers room. And for more on one of those receivers looking to take another jump this season, let's send it over to Jeremy and Reagan.
Well, let's talk about Andrei Iosivas, and he's a guy who did something I did this offseason. He gained 15 pounds. Except for Andrei, it's a good thing. He says he's stronger, he's faster, Reagan, and it's not just that. He's a guy who is growing year over year, almost 500 yards receiving last season, 6 touchdowns. He's moving all over the field. It felt like last year was a big year of growth. This could be the breakout year.
It's funny you talk about the weight that he gained in the offseason, because I told him that he's probably going to anger a lot of female fans out there because he got better at his job with that extra weight. But he has clearly established himself as the Bengals wide receiver 3, looking for year 3 in the NFL to be his breakout year. Here's more with Yoshi.
This is the wide receiver who has to step up. Iosivas has the touchdown.
My role is just to be wherever they need me. I kind of understand we have a lot of great pieces. I mean, I feel like I'm one of those great pieces as well, but I just want to be in the right place at the right time, do my job, and then just make the plays that come to me. And if I had that mindset, then everything will always work out. I kind of understand my situation, and I don't have any time to lose. So, you know, time is valuable, and that's kind of my mentality. I don't have any time to lose. I'm the last read in a lot of progressions, whatever, so I got to win at every single thing all the time, and that's how I've always been.
You've clearly established yourself as the number 3 receiver in, again, a very stacked room, but is it at all ever maybe frustrating in a sense that, you know, Jamar and T are always going to be the guys that get the first looks?
Yeah, so last year I had to deal with coming to terms with, you know, I'm a starter, but I'm not really getting the ball as much, even though I'm on the field all the time. And so that's something I had to work through last year, and kind of learning how to stay locked in until I get my first ball thrown to me in the third quarter on a crucial third down or something, you know what I mean? So it's something that I really worked on last year, and that's why someone asked me earlier, like, what do you do before the game? Like a weird quirk I do, and I usually do like a 2.5 minute push-up hold before every game.
We're talking like low push-up hold?
Yeah, like just like that, like straight arm push-up hold.
So like a high plank?
Yeah, exactly.
Why?
Just so I can lock in and stay grounded and, you know, feel calm, but also physically ready at the same time. And it's something that calms my mind and just allows me to be ready whenever the ball's thrown my way.
If I told you can only use one word to describe the Cincinnati Bengals offense, what word would you choose?
Unstoppable.
Ooh. I was gonna say explosive.
I was gonna say that too, but I feel like everyone just uses explosive.
Yeah, it does, okay.
Yeah.
Why unstoppable?
Well, I mean, you can't guard all of us, and then you also have Chase in the backfield. I mean, and he can run routes too. So it's really pick your poison.
Okay, so I thought that was pretty interesting, the fact that before every single game, Andrei spends about 2.5 minutes in a high plank because he wants to ground himself that way. I told him that we should maybe have like a high planking competition because you know how I am. I'm very competitive. I need to win these things. Maybe I can beat out an NFL athlete in that regard. Okay, but I will just add to tag this and to kind of wrap up the Andrei conversation. We did talk about some goals that he has this season, and of course that's obviously going to surround the statistics. He would like to get close to maybe 700 receiving yards, still in that 5 to 10 touchdown range, but he's focused a lot on yards after catch, and he said he's specifically eyeing Jamar Chase and what he does in training camp and just the way that he practices and goes about things, because clearly Jamar Chase has cemented himself as the king of yak, right?
We can certainly say, yes, I agree. We can certainly say that Andrei is the best since TJ. So since TJ, what I'm talking about is he's the best late round receiver pick by the Bengals since TJ Hushmanzada more than 2 decades ago. You look at 6th and 7th round picks. TJ was a 7th rounder, Andrei a 6th rounder. He is producing at a level like that. You can see the growth and the pattern. So to be connected to a guy like TJ, consider the Bengals have taken swings on late receivers over the years, is a great compliment for Yoshi. We'll go back to Marissa.
All right, well, coming up next, we're going to check in with the feds as we've had some undercover agents roaming the fields at Paycor Stadium. Best of camp mic'd up is just around the corner.
Bengals football is back. As Cincinnati opens in orange, it is time for the pigskin to fly here in the jungle. What a hit. Open man, Jamar Chase. It's an orange celebration here in the Queen City.
Ooh, get that orange apparel ready because the Bengals open the home slate week 2 against the Jags with the annual Open in Orange game. Then, Joe, they face a stretch 5 straight against playoff teams from last season before closing out the first half with 3 consecutive home games before the bye. But then you really look at that back half of the schedule, it's going to be challenging as well. Thanksgiving night tilt in Baltimore, once again on Thursday night, followed by a trip to Buffalo to take on the Bills. And Joe, I mean, that's really, when you look at the schedule, they're going to get tested early with that stretch of 5 straight against playoff teams, and again tested late when you have Buffalo, Baltimore, Buffalo, Baltimore, all in the stretch?
That's what everybody's circling, that 3-game stretch in December, right? But also they finished with Arizona and Cleveland, and we understand that in the NFL, things can change quickly in a year, but it feels like there's a chance there for the Bengals to have a nice runway to the playoffs by beating Arizona and beating Cleveland and getting back to the playoffs. But everybody's going to be talking about that Baltimore, Buffalo, Baltimore stretch that might feel like it's a playoff preview in the middle of December. Now, one of my favorite parts of this collaboration of working and doing this show with the Bengals is the access that you and your team get, that we don't get as a local TV station. One of those access points is putting microphones all over players all throughout training camp. Here is Best of Training Camp mic'd up with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Feel me? I'm mic'd up, my boy. So we just gonna work today, okay? We just gonna work today. Whatever coach say we doing, we just gonna do it.
Welcome to the jungle.
Oh yeah.
That's a fire song.
Oh yeah, bro. That's just
insane.
What's something the folks don't know about you?
I heard blondes do it better. Let's see how we do.
I'm hot mic, by the way, just as a heads up to everyone.
Back up, BJ! Back up!
No. I shouldn't put no lotion on my face earlier. Hit me all in my eye. I got the shakes that'll make you quake. So I got the burgers I just got burgers. Hey now.
Shift the legs a little bit. Shift the legs a little bit.
Let's go. That was Gary, man. That's a man named Gary. You will be a good wrestler, bro. Cause you're a great actor. You'll be the wrestler that everybody beating up on, though.
I want that. I want that. That's the one I want. I want that one. No, that's what I'm jumping. You know I jump.
Wait, where the camera at? I don't even know where the camera. I think it's high. It's high.
If I hold it, or if I do something for somebody, and they go, I'm like, oh. No, what do you mean? That's a Southern thing. I swear to God.
Cup of coffee. Get you a cup of coffee on that ground.
Yeah, Howie. Looking like a little turtle.
Blur.
I be thugging it out though, I ain't gonna lie. I can see through them little drops. This lace at work.
Gone with the wind. One field goal. Kick the ball, baby. We're kicking the ball.
Come on, man.
I'm coming to you.
Man.
Hands up.
I'm just saying, if you want to throw hands, just let me know.
Are these too short? They're a little short? No, tell me the truth.
Hey, Tyson, don't go hard right here. All right, I'm counting on you.
If y'all didn't know, J-Mo used to be like 380. On me, that boy is heavy. Big heavy.
Look at the lady over there dancing with her baby. In the orange, you see her? Hey.
Turbo side.
Big, yeah! There we go!
Wait, we running too?
Turbo side.
Hey man, y'all get this off me, man. We going back to the locker room.
Well, Joe, I think fans are going to be in for a treat getting to know TJ Slaton this year. I know we only have a certain amount of time in an edit like that where it's a mashup, a collaboration, but I was the filmer when we had TJ mic'd up out at practice, and I had to kind of contain my laughter at times because I was like sitting there smiling and chucking myself behind the camera because this man is just pure comedy. The way he would talk with his teammates, and at one point he looked me dead to the camera lens and was like, I don't know why you filming right now. We're not doing anything. And it was like just doing our water break. And I was like, oh my gosh, TJ.
We're just waiting for moments, TJ. One of the great moments of the preseason was Jeremy Rao was in Philadelphia interviewing him after his Bengals debut in the preseason. And he had all this jewelry he wanted to put on. He wanted to make sure the interview started before he put the jewelry on because he thought it was a cool look to be interviewed while putting on his bling. TJ Slaton. By the way, is this too short in my tie?
I think that's a pretty good length.
Okay, Andrei Iosivas would approve that it's not too long. Unbelievable. Okay, time for a quick timeout. He is the two-time comeback player of the year. Is this the time Joe Burrow finally wins his first MVP? Finally a healthy, normal, just football training camp for the Bengals quarterback and a big season on deck. So why are Dan Hoare, Dave Lapham, and Jeff Hobson putting Joe Burrow and Shamar Stewart in the same TV segment? It's a Dan, Dave, and Jeff takeover next.
Welcome back to the Bengals season preview show right here on Fox 19. Now, that's Jeremy Rao. I'm Reagan Holgate. Jer, training camp in the rear view mirror. What do you say we talk about some camp standouts?
Well, a lot of great moments from a lot of players. So the camp standout segment is now run by three GOATs on the big desk. We're talking about Dan, Lap, and Jeff Hobson. Take it away.
Training camp and the preseason are behind us, and in this Who Day conversation, each of us is going to pick out a training camp standout. Lap, you're up first.
Mine is, to no great surprise probably to anyone, number 9 in your program, number 1 in everybody's heart. That would be Joe Burrow. From day one, was ready to go. And he's built on that every single year of training camp. When you look at this guy play, when you look at him practice, he's outstanding. I mean, he does everything right. Joe Burrow sees the value of every single snap he takes. Every time he lines up against the defense, he likes the challenge. He wants to compete. He wants to read that defense. He wants to beat that defense. He is, without a doubt, as good a football player as I've ever seen. He is as good as it gets in the National Football League.
All right, training camp standout number one is Joe Burrow. How about you, Butch?
I'm going with Jamar Stewart. A half hour after the NFL draft, they picked him 17. Jerry Montgomery, the new Bengals defensive line coach, is in his office and he's counting. He's counting out the number of positions that Jamar Stewart can play. 6, 9, 3, all sorts of techniques. Didn't have spring ball, shows up, and he's exactly what a first-round pick should look like. Zach Taylor noticed it right away. He's been as advertised. He's been disruptive. It's a big word in the vocabulary of new defensive coordinator Al Golden. But to talk to the guys who play against him, Orlando Brown Jr. and Marius Mims, the two tackles, I thought what was very enlightening was what Lucas Patrick said, the right guard. Very few people on the planet can cover ground like him at the line of scrimmage. He's been everything, I think, and more than we expected.
All right, it's my turn. One of the best commencement speeches I've ever seen was when Admiral William McRaven addressed the University of Texas in 2014. If you've never seen this, check it out on YouTube. It's awesome. He gives 10 lessons to the grads, and the first one is, if you want to change the world, start out by making your bed every morning. And the thought is, if you have good habits at the beginning of the day and do the little things, eventually you do the big things. Well, Cam Taylor-Britt is my training camp standout, and he has actually cited making his bed every morning. He is following a much stricter routine than he's ever followed before in hopes of being more consistent on and off the field, and I think we've seen it in training camp. He's had an excellent camp, and he's been covering Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. If you can do that, you can play well on Sundays. I think going into last year, we all thought there was a chance that he could ascend to the Pro Bowl level. I think we are going to see that version of Cam Taylor-Britt this season, and obviously that would be very helpful to the Bengals' hopes of having an excellent season.
No doubt.
Joe Burrow, Jamar Stewart, and Cam Taylor-Britt, 3 training camp standouts in this Who Day conversation.
Good to have Dan Horde coming back into the Fox 19 Now studios. A welcome back for him. And I was surprised there. So quick camp standouts for us, Reagan. I was surprised Lapp did not go with offensive line. It's okay, Lapp. Joe Burrow is a good pick. Mine would be Dylan Fairchild at left guard. He's a guy that they drafted in hopes he could be a starter. He was basically named a starter months ago with a chance to either win or lose that job. He's won that job. He's kept that job. He has not been circled in the All-22 very often. He's a guy who has held up strong. I think he's ready for week 1.
Let's stay on the offensive side of the ball here. I'm going to go with Mitchell Baller Tinsley. All right, he set the Cincinnati world on fire with his 2-touchdown performance in Washington. Look, he had a great camp, a very quietly great camp, right? Number 82, though, also number 1 in the hearts here in Cincinnati, and he makes the 53-man roster. The undrafted free agent. We love a good little story like that. All right, now let's go back to the desk with Marissa.
Yeah, well, guys, a few other standouts we got to see were the new faces on the coaching staff. Al Golden returns to Cincinnati as DC after spending 3 seasons at Notre Dame, where his defense ranked 2nd nationally in points allowed and 9th in total yards allowed per game. The Fighting Irish held 12 opponents to 17 or fewer points on their way to a berth in the College Football Playoff National Championship. Mike Hodges joins in at linebackers coach after spending time in New Orleans. Jerry Montgomery is on the defensive line and serving as run game coordinator after spending time in New England and Green Bay. And on offense, Scott Peters is in as offensive line coach, with Michael McCarthy serving as assistant offensive line.
If anyone in my fantasy league is watching this, please take the next segment off. I don't want anyone taking Chase Brown before I can. Gabby Sorrentino joins the show one-on-one with Cincinnati's RB1 when the season preview show continues on the flagship TV station of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Welcome back to the Bengals season preview show here on Fox 19 Now. And Joe, so much is talked about when it comes to the offense. Joe and his receivers, but there's another strong playmaker on that offense.
More than 1,300 yards and double-digit touchdowns in his first season as the lead running back here in Cincinnati. Let's send it back over now to Jeremy Rao. And Gabby Sorrentino joins the show to talk about her conversation with RB1.
Gabby, you're younger than I am. Do you know Mariah Carey?
Yeah, of course.
Mariah Carey sang about Chase Brown years ago, "Sweet, sweet fantasy baby." He might be one of the sweetest fantasy pickups you could have in the first or second round. I know I said first this season. He's a guy that everyone is watching.
Yeah, I mean, he was the guy last season, right? And I think he has the chance to be an even bigger guy this season in an improved running back room. Jeremy, this was one of the best interviews I think I've had here at Fox 19. A great conversation with Chase Brown. Take a listen.
Here's Brown up the middle, twisting into the end zone for a Bengals touchdown.
All right, here with Bengals running back Chase Brown. Chase, you had such a big season last year. Entering a big season this year, what can everyone expect from Chase Brown this season?
Put in a lot of work this offseason. So I'm just trying to outdo what I did last year. Most importantly, win games, but just outdo what I did last year.
Do you have any specific goals that you have set for yourself heading into this season?
Yeah, just finishing the big plays. Like when there's a play to be made or explosive play to be made, make it and finish it in the end zone.
Do you feel like there's anything for yourself that you feel that you need to prove this season?
I've kind of stayed away from trying to prove myself. Not saying that I'm established, but I made enough plays last year to where I'm, pretty comfortable in the system, and I know what I've shown. This year I'm just trying to, be consistent, make the plays that come my way, and most importantly, just consistency.
We're gonna end by talking about you are a dad now to a beautiful baby boy.
Yeah.
How has it been being a dad? Do you have that dad strength out there on the field now?
Maybe, yeah. That could be it. Maybe that's why this training camp's going so well. No, it's a blessing. I was so nervous about it before, and I didn't know what to expect. And, especially when you first find out, you just don't know what you want to do, and I just couldn't see life any other way without him, and he's just like the cutest little thing ever, and he's like
your little twin. I've seen the pictures.
He's like my twin.
He is.
So I miss him right now because I go home and he's going to bed, or I'll try and maybe catch him on FaceTime or something throughout the day. But yeah, no, it's definitely been a blessing.
Yeah.
I'll probably go call him right after this.
So Jeremy, not only does Chase Brown have the dad strength, he also has the twin strength, and him and his twin Sydney, who plays for the Eagles, they went on a twin tour this offseason. They were in Canada going to F1. He obviously watched him play in the Super Bowl. Just a really cool offseason for Chase, getting to spend some time with Sydney.
And he's the kind of guy who is going to be a problem when you talk to the Bengals defense. Logan Wilson said that recently. He said that he adds to the monster effect, the monster factor, I guess you could say, of weapons that Joe Burrow has here in Cincinnati. We'll go back to the desk.
Well, up next, we flip back over to the defensive side of the ball and sit down with new D tackle TJ Slaton, who brings a massive presence to the D-line.
Welcome back to the Bengals season preview show. Joe Danneman and Marissa Contepelli. And Marissa, if you want to win the AFC North and you think about the way these teams are constructed, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, you have to stop the run. You have to be able to be stout up front defensively. The Bengals went after that in free agency.
They certainly did, Joe, and that's why there's a new big truck in town, as people refer to him. TJ Slaton brought in to bolster up that defensive line. Now, Slaton, as you mentioned, known for stuffing ball carriers at the line of scrimmage, but his impact goes far beyond just stopping the run. And his relationship with defensive line coach Jerry Montgomery is a big reason why.
The Bengals' #1 defense is out there. Slaton is inside.
TJ Slaton Jr. at the defensive tackle. We need that middle taken care of.
big body, he's stout, and he plays behind his pads and with hands. There's not many people that can move him. I had TJ his first 3 years. We drafted him 5th round. First impression was like massive, very athletic, big guy. I mean, I remember team meeting, we had a hoop and he stood flat-footed and dunked it 2 hands in front of the whole team. So, you know, super athletic. And then when we got out to practice, I'm like, okay, we got a long ways to go to get you where you need to be.
My first impression was, you know, maybe he didn't like me at first, you know, just listening to what he was saying. And then I started buying in his technique and the things that he was teaching, like it started working for me. So I changed my mind after that, you know. He's definitely one to take from, and he's definitely looking to help you.
We don't put it all together? Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, boom. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me come to you though. Come on. You're throwing your hands. Let me come to you. Come on. All right, you gotta come back to me. 1, 2, 3.
When I got with J-Mo my rookie year, my biggest thing was my hands. I love to run in there with my shoulders and try to just muscle people around, and it was hurting me. The biggest emphasis with me and J-Mo was get your hands up in the run game. You gotta play with extensions. And if you don't play with extensions, it's gonna be hard for you to be productive.
Minnesota game here. All right, this is a call where we kind of cut the nose tackle loose and allow him to get vertical. So you can see what type of havoc he can wreak when he's going forward. Guard's trying to reach him. He knocks back the guard and is able to flatten out down the line of scrimmage and make the play on the running back in the backfield. This is an early down play where he's able to get in the crease, getting on in the edge, and be able to affect the quarterback. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. He's more than just a run stopper. He does a really good job of playing down the line of scrimmage. When we talk about being able to play in between the tackle box, he's making plays from the nose tackle all the way out to the tackle box.
Nah, bro, we trying to finish. You heard what I'm saying? We trying to finish. We playing through the whistle, coach.
Well, he knows the expectations and what I'm looking for. As we go through drills, you'll see him in the back trying to help the young guys, like, hey, understand what he's saying here.
Like a cross chop. Yeah, you shoot it, it's just a cross chop. When you did it, it looked like you was trying to arm over. Can y'all line up behind them and walk through it? Line up behind them and walk through it.
I want to say I'm more of like a leader by example. The young guys on our line, they ask me a lot of questions about like where their hands and stuff. When you have teammates that do that, you can build a stronger bond with them, and then you have that trust with them on the field as well. I'm just, taking it day by day. If the guys want to, view me as that leader or see me as that leader, I take it.
You gotta plant and go get a sack. Try to tell you, but ain't nothing better than the player coach, man. We just need a little insight, you know what I'm saying? Come on, coach, give me a little 1-2 from back in the day. I might be able to translate it.
It says a lot that he had the opportunity to go to multiple other places, and he chose to come back and play for me. And he knows how I'm gonna coach him, and he knows the standard I'm gonna hold him to.
With J-Mo, me going into year 5, he's still the same guy. As a player, you should want somebody who's gonna hold you accountable. You should want somebody who's gonna correct every little detail you're gonna do. Like, you want somebody who's gonna be on you about your hands, your eyes, your feet, where your head should be.
I think he has the ability to play tackle to tackle and be one of the better D tackles in this league. I'm excited for the future, and I think he's got a long career as long as he stays healthy.
Nod your head yes if you think this is the season the Bengals end the slow start storyline. You see, Cam Taylor-Britt gets it. It's one thing for us to talk about it, and boy, did we ever. But what the Bengals did about it and what still needs to be done about it before the season starts. Let's talk about it next on the season preview show on Fox 19 Now. I know they're just training camp touchdowns. It doesn't mean Jamar Chase can't make them showstoppers. This catch is ridiculous. Practice, game, we like touchdowns, and we like star players doing star things. This is what makes the Cincinnati Bengals must-see TV. Jamar T, and also the big playability of Andrei Iosivas. The deepest wide receiver room in the NFL is ready to show out in the 2025 season. So here we are, got the full team on the set. We have season predictions coming up, but first, one final word from the Bengals locker room.
That's right. There's been such a point of emphasis on starting fast this season. So let's check in with Orlando Brown Jr. on why that's going to be so critical week 1.
Last year, there was more of a sense of urgency, and that starts with number 9, with his attention to detail, his focus every single day in practice, and leading us. And as we move forward, going into week 1, understanding that we need to have that same intensity that we have in that back half of the season, having that in the front half of the season, and not putting ourselves in position where we're playing behind the 8 ball, trying to get a number 1 seed, or we got to win the next 6 to even give our, that's hard. That's hard to do when, you're pretty much at 500. And so having more urgency, more focus, attention to detail, man, so we can go out here and win as many games straight as we can.
Well, fast starts have been a topic of conversation all over Cincinnati, and you made a prediction about fast starts, so season predictions will begin with Jeremy.
You've got a fast start, and I've got a ticket to get us out of here. The Bengals are going to start 3-0 for the first time in a decade and go 11-6.
Man, I'm going big this year. I'm saying 13-4 for the Bengals this season. There's winnable games. There's tough games. I think they're going to win with the big 3 and Trey Hendrickson back.
Wow. So the little graphic at the bottom of the screen says 10-7 as my prediction. I would rather it just say playoffs, because I believe the Bengals are going back to the playoffs, and that's all that matters for this team. Get them in the tournament. Yeah. They've got a shot.
Gabby, we're on the same page because I also have us pegged for a 13-win season. I think we start 3-1 and split the series with Baltimore.
All right, I'm with Jer here. I said 11-6. I also do think they start out 3-0, but there are a few pockets in the beginning of the season and also near the end where things get a little bit questionable. But look, playoffs. That's what we want, right?
That's all that matters.
All these numbers say playoffs.
So the 11-6s, are you saying the Bengals are going to win the AFC North?
I think it's going to be close. In my figuring of how that plays out, I have them resting starters in Week 18 against Cleveland. So yes, I am. How about that?
Reagan?
I was not saying that they win the AFC North, but I also wasn't prepared for this question. I'm very sorry. But
well,
no, I still think Baltimore stays at the top there.
At 13-4, certainly Marissa and Gabby
Yes.
AFC North as well.
Yep.
This was a blast. I'm glad we get to do it every year. The Bengals season preview show right here on the flagship station.